This story is about Nawab Sadiq Muhammad Khan Abasi, fifth, the last ruler of Bahawalpur, the last Nawab of Bahawalpur, the dawn and dusk of loyalty of Nawab of Bahawalpur. The sun dipped low over the Satluj River, spreading its crimson reflection across the calm waters like molten gold. The grand palaces of Bahawalpur, Noor Mahal, Sadiqgarh, and Darbar Mahal shimmered in that dying light, standing tall as silent witnesses to the glory of a bygone age. In the heart of this city, the last Nawab of Bahawalpur, Sir Sadiq Muhammad Khan Abasi V, sat by this study window, gazing at the horizon where the desert meets the sky. He was a man of vision, elegant in manners, refined in thought, and loyal by heart. Born in 1904, Nawab Sadiq ascends the throne at the tender age of 3 after his father's passing. The affairs of the state were managed by a council of regency, yet, even as a child, the young Nawab's eyes held the confidence of a ruler and the com- compassion of a servant of his people. The rise of a young ruler, dear Nawab of Bahawalpur, by the time her reached his youth, Bahawalpur had become a symbol of stability, prosperity, and order in an era when the Indian subcontinent was trembling under colonial pressures. The Nawab's education in England had shaped him into a modern leader, one who believed that tradition and progress could coexist. When he returned to his homeland, the people of Bahawalpur welcomed him with drums, flowers, and tears of joy. Long live the Nawab of Bahawalpur echoed through the bazaars and streets. From that day onward, he decided and dedicated himself to his state, building schools, hospitals, irrigation system, and modern roads. Bahawalpur became a model Pensy state, rich not only in wealth but in compassion and culture. He was known for his generosity both to his subject and to strangers. Farmers would approach the palace gates with their petitions, and no one was turned away empty handed. During times of drought, he personally supervised the distribution of food and water in remote villages. People said, the Nawab hears the Nawab's heart is vast as the Cholistan desert, and his mercy flows like the Satluj. The windows of change as the 1940s approached, winds of change swept through the subcontinent. The call for freedom from British rule echoed across India. The air was thick with speeches, hopes, and fears. Muslims, under the leadership of Qaid Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, dreamed of a separate homeland, Pakistan. The Nawab was watching history unfold. Though a ruler in his own right, he was deeply aware of the shifting tides. Many princely states were hesitant, unsure whether to side with India, Pakistan, or remain independent. But Nawab Sadiq Khan Abasi had already made up his mind long before the decision came upon him. In a private meeting with his council, he declared over destiny and tied with the Muslims of this subcontinent. When the call for Pakistan is made, Bahawalpur will not remain silent. We shall stand with our brothers. It was not an easy choice. The British and even some Indian leaders advised him against it. They warned that joining Pakistan, a new, untested country, would be a risk, but the Nawab was not a man to be swayed by fear. He wrote a letter to Qaid Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah in 1947 expressing his loyalty and support. He offered his resources, his soldiers, and his wealth for the creation of Pakistan. It was said that during Pakistan's early days, when the treasury of the new nation was nearly empty, Nawab Sadiq donated 70 million rupees, a, a colossal sum at that time, to keep the government running. When refugees from India began, began arriving in Pakistan, it was the Nawab who opened the gates of Bahawalpur. Then, these are our people, he said. Their pain is over. He established camps, hospitals, and schools for them, spending millions from his personal fortune. For many, Bahawalpur became a beacon of hope, a safe haven in the choice of partition. Bahawalpur joins Pakistan in October 1947. The Nawab officially acceded Bahawalpur to Pakistan, making it one of the first princely states to join the new country. The flag of Bahawalpur was lowered and the green and white flag of Pakistan was raised with honor. It was an emotional day in Bahawalpur. Thousands gathered at Sadiq Palace to witness history. The Nawab, dressed in white, stood tall on the balcony, his eyes glistening. Today, he said, we give not only our elegance but our hearts to Pakistan. May this land prosper as our own blood. His loyalty did not end with words. He provided funds for the establishment of Pakistan's first industries, universities, and administrative structures. For years, the Bahawalpur State Bank served as a financial backbone for the infant nation. When the government of Pakistan faced difficulties in setting up its central bank, the Nawab offered his own treasury and staff to assist. Jinnah himself recognized his loyalty. Bahawalpur, he once said, is not just a state, it is a pillar of Pakistan's foundation. Golden Age of Bahawalpur, the years following Pakistan's independence were golden ones for Bahawalpur. Under the Nawab's vision, the state flourished with modern infrastructure, electricity, universities, hospital, and roads stretched across the land. The Sadiq Adjutant College, Sadiq Dance School, and uh, Bahawal Victoria Hospital became famous institutions, some still serving Pakistan today. He was a man of discipline, punctual, cultured, and humble. Every morning he would ride through the city, greeting laborers and shopkeepers. A ruler, he often said, must walk among his people, not above them. Even the British officers who once governed India spoke of him with admiration. His state was one of the best administered in the subcontinent, but for the Nawab, it was not just about grandeur or power, it was about duty to serve, to protect, to uplift. The fall of a throne, but as time passed, the political landscape of Pakistan began to change. The government in Karachi started absorbing princely states into the federation. Autonomy was to be replaced with central governance. For Nawab Sadiq Khan Abasi, this was a moment of deep sorrow, not because he feared losing uh, power, but because he feared losing the identity of Bahawalpur. In 1955, the one unit policy merged Bahawalpur with West Pakistan. The state was dissolved and its administration was transferred to the central government. The Nawab signed the agreement with a heavy heart. The throne that had stood for centuries from the sands of Uch Sharif to the palaces of Bahawalpur now became a chapter in history. When the final ceremony was held, the Nawab looked over his countries, his ministers, and the people who had served him loyally for decades. My rule and today, he said quietly, but my service to Pakistan will never end. May Bahawalpur remain a light for this nation forever. The hall fell silent. Some of the men wept openly. The Nawab walked out of his palace for the last time as a ruler, but with his head held high as a patriot. Today, his legacy lives on, not just in palaces or monuments, but in the hearts of his people. The institutions he built continue to serve millions. Bahawal Victoria Hospital still heals the sick. Sadiq Public School still shapes young minds. Noor Mahal still stand as a jewel of Islamic architecture. But above all, Nawab Sadiq Khan Abasi is remembered for his loyalty to Pakistan, his love for his people, and his unwavering sense of honor. His name is spoken with pride, the Nawab who gave his wealth for his country and his throne for unity. In the evenings, when the desert winds blow across the ruin of Biravar, local says you can still hear a faint echo, the whisper of a ruler who loved his land deeply, who chose loyalty over luxury, and who became, in the truest sense, the heart of Bahawalpur.